morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it is a bit dark, actually. Maybe it is. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is on your screen now. There we go. Graham_day, Graham Day, and I am joined by the birthday bib. Happy bib day to you. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Do you feel birthday-ish?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
I was so tempted to go. It doesn't matter what you feel.
I always feel like I'm being baited into something, so I try not to say anything. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I'm keeping my eye on that screen over there because I love the fact that I've now got something that I can make sure that everything's running well and not go into it. So
small electrical fires. But yes, we are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. This is the birthday babe, and we are bringing you another week of news from the games industry and beyond. This is the Ice Cream Scoop. If you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello, and please feel free to say happy birthday to the Booberino as well, because, you know, I mean, it's not my birthday. Yes, my birthday was 6 days ago, just saying. Okay, you can have
turn today.
You can have this one, fine.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine. If you're in the chat, please let us know. One thing I'm going to do, though, is open up the chat, because I don't actually have it there. So if you are in the chat, I wouldn't even know.
I always forget to open it up on mine. Boom. Chat's up. Chat is up. So, forget about my weekend. What did you do this weekend? This weekend, I went out, got drunk on Saturday. Christmas jumper / party at friend's house, which is now why I have scabby face, cold storage, because clearly drank well too much and ate too much. And then spent yesterday ordering Uber Eats and watched the entirety of American Horror Story first season in a weekend. This guy. Feeling that weekend.
You mentioned it the other week, so Danielle's mentioned it a few times, so we thought, you know what, let's just plough through it. So yeah, American Horror Story until silly o'clock Friday night, Saturday morning, then went out Saturday, got back like in bits on Sunday, so we just kind of like pushed the food into our faces. Although disappointed, ordered 2 Big Mac meals and a box of 20 nuggets as well, just because.
Just a side of chicken nuggets.
That's what I expected. But ordered 2 Big Mac meals. I got a Big Mac, portion of fries, Fanta, Danielle, Big Mac, portion of fries, flat white for me, 20 nuggets, bosh. Only 1 Big Mac turned up. Good. So
can you put like a refund request?
Yeah, but like I've never had a refund request before. Anyway, I put my refund request in, and it was like, "Do you want a refund?" I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not getting my burger." And it was like, "Oh, would you like us to sort it out?" I was like, "I want you to sort it out." And it was like, "We'll get back to you within 24 hours." I was like, "Fuck that! Give me my money back." But I had a 50% off code. It wasn't too bad because they gave me like £3 back for my burger or whatever. So I ended up getting a Big Mac, 2 large portions of fries, 2 drinks, and a 20 nugget box for like £6.
Oh, so that's the result if ever I'd seen one.
So yeah, what about you?
So on Friday, my better half threw me a surprise do at NQ64, which some of you may have seen on Twitter because I was posting pictures on Friday, Saturday for it, and it was amazing. Like, obviously we go to Arcade Club. It is an arcade club, but it's in the centre of Manchester. And it's you don't pay to get in, but you pay to use the machine. So it's like £5 to get. It was I think it was 15 coins, and each of the machines take 1 coin. But they still have like loads of N64s, Mega Drives, and all that scattered around, which are free to play. It's one of the old arcade cabinets that you pay to play in. So me and my sister were just playing on Guitar Hero for about an hour. Then we had like a Mario Kart party with a load of random people in there as well. Mike. Chances are he's probably not going to be watching this because he's doing some banking or something. But that guy is a freak. Like
track and field.
Yeah, I've known him. I'm now 29. I've known him for about 23 years. And back then it was like track and field in the PS1 kind of thing. And he was a freak at it then. So like in the middle of this club, he was just like smashing these buttons, and he was just nailing absolutely everybody that even threatened to try and take his crown. But yeah, it was good. And then spent Saturday and Sunday. Well, Saturday watching the Derby City getting beat. I can't believe it. I can't believe it actually, because we was fucking shit. So that kind of ruined my birthday weekend. And then she tried to watch The Irishman, but she fell asleep. So I have to try and watch the remaining 14 hours of that another time.
I'm genuinely impressed. I mean, we were out on the Saturday, so we'd missed like the first half. We were in the Wharf pub in Manchester. trying to get signal, couldn't do it, so I'm having to like keep watching Sky Sports. I was like, no way, 2-0 up. What the as if I'm not watching this derby. I mean, Derby as a Red have been quite horrible recently. So yeah, 2-0 up. I was like, got back to the house where we were having the party, and man, obviously Wi-Fi. Sat there with my phone on. Everyone's like, walking around. I'm like, no. But yeah, as it got to about 80 minutes in, I was like, oh, this is nightmare. It's all going to go wrong. And then obviously you got one. I was like, no. But yeah, do you know what? Manchester is red.
Yeah, Manchester is red. Well, it's taken you 10 years to get there again, but I suppose we'll give you one derby.
It took us 10 years. Talking about time to get there. How many years?
Listen, right. We was rocking around in like the old Division 1 and that. It's fine. It's fine. We made our way to the top, and now Liverpool are taking us both over. So
it's just, I mean, we are a crap team. So therefore, you now officially, undeniably, are crapper than us.
We are though. Like,
and we drew against Liverpool, so we are the best team in the league.
This season has been an absolute right. Like last year, I was speaking to Jay about it this morning. The amount of chances that City create and put away was ridiculous. Like I can't. Was it like 117 goals we scored last year or something? It was ridiculous. And this year, if we didn't have Aguero and Sterling both pulling the weight, we'd be like mid-table by now. We're just not finishing any chances at all.
Yeah, we're just not creating the chances. I mean, although we did play really well on the weekend, to be fair. But yeah, our issue is the lack of creativity. Anyway, forget the football news. We're not going to go that in depth into football because we have a lot of news to jump through for you guys. If you are in the chat, please feel free to say hello. I've seen Dan and Lad Gaming saying hello.
Morning.
Obviously, feel free to wish the bib birthday wishes as we go. You know, just because he's allowed one day and then it's back to Graham's December month. This is the month of my birth.
The month of December for Graham.
But yes, feel free to jump in. We are going to jump into our first piece of content in just a minute, though, because Bib doesn't have it on screen.
Oh, are you going with that one first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it's a little bit tasty. If you guys are on Twitter, you'll know what our lead story is. Do you know, actually, I might as well bring you guys in closer. Hi.
Bit crud in my eye there.
Good morning, welcome. Just looking at the light level, because last time...
It's mad though, isn't it? It's mad, like that one. I don't know if it's because it reflects back off the wall behind us, but when we've got the camera in the middle, the big one, we're a nice blue colour now rather than Donald Trump colour, but these ones were so much lighter with this camera.
Yeah, whereas if we go back... So for those of you listening on audio services, we are just jumping between our front main cam, which is a 4K cam, which is a bit darker, and then we'd come into a Logitech high cam, which is just here off to the side of us, and it's like... The light shift is incredibly different. Actually, before we jump into the news, I'm not even gone through who we are and what this is. So obviously this is The Scoop, live on twitch.tv/icecreambloods. We turn this into a standalone on-demand podcast. So we'll be live for around an hour or so, telling you our thoughts and impressions on all the news from the games industry. The biggest and best stories, we give you our feedback. If you're in the chat on Twitch, feel free to get involved. You guys can give us your impressions on our impressions, or just your own impressions on top of them. I mean, just let us know. Get involved, because you guys are the only ones that have a chance to do that. We turn this into a standalone on-demand video podcast that we upload to YouTube around an hour after the show has finished. The guys that watch on YouTube, they get to listen to it, they get to pause it, rewind, do whatever, but they don't get a chance to get involved with the conversation. You guys do if you're live. And then, if you are listening to this on one of our 4 podcast services, then hello, because we upload this to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud before the day is out. That's 4 podcast services. All the links will be on twitter.com/icecreamuploads. But now, let's jump into our first piece of news. And if you're on twitter.com/icecreamuploads, as I just mentioned, you will have seen that... Oh, actually, no. I didn't. That's not even a story that I thought it was.
Was you going on the lead story?
I was, yes.
Okay. That's why I changed it, because I had the other one loaded up.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to this one in just a second. Instead, we'll jump to this one that Bibby was already prepped for, and I wasn't. So, yeah. Come on, Bib. Get with the script. So, Sony's last State of Play for 2019 will air next week, the article said. This was obviously written on December the 6th, which is Friday. So, it will actually air this week, tomorrow, the 10th of December. So... the tagline says, no next-gen information. This is written by Nicole Carpenter for Polygon.com. Sony's next episode of State of Play, its semi-regular PlayStation News series, will air on Tuesday, December 10th. This last update of 2019 will be live-streamed on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. Viewers can expect 20 minutes of new game reveals, release date announcements, new gameplay footage, PlayStation Worldwide Studios updates and more, according to a post on the PlayStation blog. Aside from that, Sony didn't hint at any potential announcements for this episode of... Aside from that, Sony didn't hint at any potential... I'll get it now. Instead, just a warning, there won't be any news on its next-gen console, the PS5. Elsewhere in the world, Xbox boss Phil Spencer is humble bragging about how far along Microsoft's Project Scarlet is. This week, Spencer tweeted that he's already using Scarlet as his primary console to connect to the community and use his Elite Series 2 controller. Which is basically a... Do you know what? You can buy this, you could use it on a new console.
Yeah, small plugs.
No, I think the normal size plugs, because if not, it won't fit in the wall. But anyway, Sony's last State of Play was in September. And there was a lot of news, including a release date for The Last of Us Part 2. We expected to hear a bit about Sucker Punch Productions' Ghost of Tsushima, but we got nothing. Perhaps it's the State of Play. It's this State of Play where we'll get some news on that front. So there we go. Kind of glosses over it in that article pretty briefly, actually, to be fair, but let's bring you guys closer again. Hi, welcome back. So we have a State of Play taking place tomorrow. So obviously we spoke about it last week. If you guys weren't around last week, there was obviously a leak was kind of half interested in Resident Evil 3. So there was a leak for that. It was all kind of uploaded to the PSN storefront. We got pack shots and things. We then started pondering about where that would be announced. We kind of thought, maybe Game Awards. That's the only big thing that's been planned in, scheduled in for December. The Game Awards then came out and went, no, we're not doing anything with Resident Evil 3. And we were like, yeah, but are you though? And then it's like, actually, out of nowhere, State of Play, Tuesday, boom! Yeah. So
that brings you on to the next thing, though. Like, they said that they're going to be announcing 10 new game projects at the Video Game Awards, but with the PlayStation State of Play happening tomorrow, is it going to be new by the time it gets to the Game Awards next week? Do you reckon there's going to be some crossover regardless, because there's no way that you're not going to announce something at the Game Awards with it being streamed in 45 different countries on 1,001 different platforms in 1,001 different languages?
I mean, it could all be like syntax as well, in terms of it could be the way that it was said, meaning it's all brand new, unreleased, unannounced. Well, it is now, but it won't be by the time it gets along. I mean, when they kind of mentioned it, at that point, it potentially was unannounced. So, I mean, it could just be clever wording by Jeff Keighley and co. by saying, yeah, okay, it's all going to be brand new, unannounced things. I mean, not that they said that it all was unannounced, but there will be a lot more new content, new projects, and it could just be a case of State of Play goes, we've got a new... whatever from Worldwide Studios. I mean, it's kind of interesting though in the fact that, let me jump back into the wording that they had in the article. They said 20 minutes of new game reveals, release date announcements, new gameplay footage, PlayStation Worldwide Studios updates and more. So new game reveals is interesting because that speaks for itself. There will be new unannounced games being revealed, which is good. But is that gonna be AAA stuff, or is that new game reveal? Have they just put that in to kind of hit it as the headline, but it's actually just going to be like a...
I reckon it's going to be more DLC packs for some games. I don't want to say I can't imagine them bringing new games out considering the PS5's out next year, but I feel like that it's come towards the end of the life cycle. You've got things like The Last of Us 2 coming out next year, which is, and Resident Evil 3 obviously, but 10 new games coming out next year. Yeah. Can I see it?
State of Play though, they last about 20-30 minutes, and admit that, I mean, I'm not a fanboy of either format, as I keep mentioning. I do sway towards PlayStation just because I've been a PlayStation player forever, but I do find the State of Play a bit crap. Yeah, because it's like someone's made a really naff video that's almost like, did you ever watch like Saturday morning TV when you got like movies, games and videos, or movies or whatever, and it was like one of those programs where they go, these are the new games coming out this week, blah blah blah, and it's like we've gone from having the PSX, PlayStation Experience level of like stage shows to these really crap non-presenter, non-studio, just voiceover, so therefore really cheap, really easy to edit. Not really cheap, because obviously it won't be. They'll still have a good agency doing it, but in comparison, it's definitely a huge step down. So, but within that, you'll get 10 to 15 games, but it'll be like The Last of Us, and I'm like, yeah, and then it'll be like, thing that Graham's not going to remember because it looks shit. Something else, and I mean, it's not. I mean, disrespect, obviously there, but like, you'll get a bunch of indie stuff, and you might get some mobile-y kind of things, or you might get one really obscure VR thing. There was, in the last State of Play, there was that thing where there was just loads of little bodies, like little things walking around, and then they were just kind of being pushed, and it was almost like...
Was that Astro Bar?
No, it was almost like... Have you ever seen those simulators where it's like, I want to see what happens when 10,000 donkeys fight 100 geese, and they all just kind of like... until eventually... whatever. And it was kind of like that, but it was just like hundreds of people, like weird little people, that they just set walking, and then they had like things pushing them over, and and it was kind of like traffic simulator, but it looked interesting, but it also looked like not gonna play that. So you get a lot of stuff like that. So when you get to new game reveals, release date announcements, new gameplay footage and stuff like that, I mean, the fact that there's new gameplay footage, we might see a bit more of The Last of Us. Release date announcements and reveals might actually not be The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, as they talk about in the article. That might just be like Bibbot episode 3 or whatever. It's like, great.
Well, have you ever watched any of the Nintendo Direct stuff? They're usually like half an hour, 45 minutes. But that's kind of the same thing, but you usually have a presenter just come on, say something in Japanese, and then the next game will come on. They're really good. I enjoy them, but you kind of know what you're getting from a Nintendo standpoint. You know, don't know what games are coming, because there is always a nice little surprise coming, especially when it's showing the Smash Brothers logo in someone's... was it Overwatch? I can't remember. But yeah, little small things like that. But we'll see the state of play. It's only 20 minutes long. I can't imagine it going to be absolutely amazing. I think they need to leave that stuff. They should have done it after the Video Game Awards, really,
I think
being honest.
The Nintendo Direct stuff, though, kind of resonates a bit more for me, because they've been doing it longer, and it's planned into their mindset of how they release it. It's almost like Sony have got, okay, we don't have massive things, so if we do a big stage show, it will feel a bit flat, so we might as well do something that is a bit flat to begin with, and people know what to expect, whereas Nintendo kind of planned it into it. Plus, you mentioning, like, they'll have someone appear. You'll get some legendary dude that made the first Switch game, not the first Switch, the first Game Boy game 20 years ago, and now he's there, and they just have that little bit more of a personal impact. I mean, did like the state of play, the last one, because of The Last of Us, but if The Last of Us wasn't in it, then it'd have been
average.
Yeah, completely. But I mean, reading into there being Polygon's theories, Sony's last state of play was in September, and there was a lot of news, including a release date for The Last of Us Part 2. We expected to hear a bit about Sucker Punch Productions' Ghost of Tsushima, but we got nothing. I reckon that potentially could be... I think that'll be new gameplay, because Ghost of Tsushima, was it E3? Yeah, I can't remember, but they had that like trailer, and it was like atmospheric, moody, and it kind of reminded me of Tenchu, but like full HD kind of thing. And then we kind of, it's just kind of like being quiet, so I would be surprised if we don't get any Ghost of Tsushima this time. I think that could be the gameplay stuff that we get. Is Sucker Punch owned by Worldwide Studios? I think it is.
Not sure.
If it is, then that'll be Worldwide Studios update. So they could, I mean, this could tick multiple boxes. So we've got Worldwide Studios, new gameplay footage, and release dates and so on. So that could be all three. Ghost of Tsushima could tick all three of those. The only thing it isn't is a new game reveal, because it's already been revealed.
I'm just checking. It doesn't say. It's
owned Sony. There we go.
Sony Interactive Entertainment. Yeah.
So yeah, Sony on Sucker Punch. I thought that was the case, because Sucker Punch made
Sly Cooper.
I was thinking Infamous.
Yes.
Which was like.
Did you ever play Sly Cooper? Oh, that's good.
I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a cartoon character.
It technically is. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
So yeah. So well, there we go. Worldwide Studios update. Sony owns Sucker Punch, so therefore Ghost of Tsushima, I'd say, probably is nailed on then. Maybe they give a release date on that. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not actually, because would they? one thing that Sony doesn't tend to do usually is overlap worldwide studios releases. So you've got The Last of Us is obviously the big one. They've announced the release date for that. Usually they don't go, okay, The Last of Us is out and it's just about to arrive, but there's also something new to look forward to, because then you kind of take the focus away from your main product, which is out now. So maybe we won't get the reveal date for Ghost of Tsushima, the release date, but yeah, I imagine we'll get gameplay content, and that will be what the Worldwide Studios announcement.
You see, if the state of play thing, and Craig, this is what I was kind of alluding to before. Craig just says PlayStation state of play kind of kills the surprise for the things that you can see. A slide animation of the kind of takes the gloss off everything. I like the fact that at a Video Game Awards or an E3 conference or something like that, the room will go pitch black, the camera will zoom into the big monitor behind them, and then it'll appear for the audience at home, but the people in there, they have no idea what trailer's going to be coming next. And it's like, you know, when you go to a cinema and they roll the trailers before and you think, oh, that looks sick, or I didn't know that was coming out, that looks great. That's what I like. I like the fact that believe it, I would have put forward this week, if it wasn't going to the Twitch party, that we would be watching this as a live stream, because I think that excitement level with people in the chat, or just even so just me and you, that excitement of what's coming next. I want that anticipation kind of thing.
Everything just goes black and you get the world premiere.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's Xbox, but yeah, it's that impact moment. It's just kind of like
yeah, not a slideshow, as Greg says. But Pirate says, morning, happy birthday, Bibs. Thanks very much, Pirate. Appreciate the gift that you sent over last week as well, mate.
I'm liking the ice up hello black and white. Ooh, someone's used his stream points to change the hello to black and white as opposed to blue. Check you out. Honestly, bit flush with the cash using your sprinkles. Yeah. By the way, for those of you that may not have seen our post on social media last week, the stream currency, or channel points, we are involved in the early access rollout of channel points benefits of being Twitch partners. We get access to things like that. So we decided, do you know what, we'll use channel points because it gives you guys a little bit of something to use in the chat. We then decided last week, okay, channel points is a little bit lame because it sounds a bit
lame.
Yeah, it's just like channel points, great. So we thought, okay, we'll give them a name, and you get shitloads of them. I mean, literally, for every few minutes you get hundreds, and by the end of the streams you've got thousands, so hundreds and thousands. What, sprinkles? So there we go. That's the name. It kind of makes itself. So we put a post out last week saying, okay, our Twitch currency, our channel points has now been branded as sprinkles. So if you watch the chat, every time you interact, every time you go along with a raid, if you watch multiple streams in a row, you get more points, and those sprinkles can then be used to redeem things like changing some of our emotes, as Pirate has done there, using the hello, changing it black and white. But we also want your suggestions on how we can allow you guys to use your Twitch currency on the channel. I mean, some of the suggestions we kind of teased about on social media is like, I mean, there's things like AMAs, like ask me anything. So it's like, okay, if you got 1,000 points, you can go one AMA question. Obviously, then that's fine, but what else? So you guys give it some thought and then let us know, because we want you to be able to interact with us, and we want
it's your stream just as much as it is ours.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we did have one suggestion from Kirsty from the team saying 30 seconds of Macarena from me and you. But yeah, see that was a teaser. You're not getting the full dance because
that's 5,000 sprinkles.
God damn right it is. But there we go.
I think this is probably the next story that you want on your list, is it?
Oh, I was going to go.
Right, okay, that's fine. I can change that one.
Because it filters on. So I've
segued.
Yeah. So we kind of, I mean, we absolutely did spoil this a little bit by showing you on screen previously, but following on from Sony's State of Play, we stick with the brand and show you us here, because that's what the button I meant to press. I meant to press this one. So there we go. This is written by Michael Beckwith from Metro, not Game Central.
No, it's not a group of people, it's one person.
So, new Sony PS5 patent reveals strange new controller.
It looks shit.
This is a 3D render based on patent images. Do you know what that looks like? The old, like, there was like a little Mario game that was like in a NES controller kind of thing, a little crappy LCD screen kind of thingy. But yeah, anyway, let's read through. A new patent suggests that the PlayStation 5's controller might be more innovative than originally thought. With the PlayStation 5 still shrouded in mystery, fans are eager for any scrap of info they can get, regardless of their legitimacy. Only this week, there was what seemed to be photos of the PlayStation 5 dev kits, though some aren't entirely convinced that they're the final design. Obviously, the dev kits, you can tell this is mainstream media.
Why are they asked about what dev kits look like? I had this argument with my brother. My 13-year-old brother was arguing with me over what a PlayStation looks like. The PlayStation 5's been revealed. No, it hasn't. It's a dev kit. No, it isn't. I've seen it on Twitter. Oh, you're an idiot.
But that's it. This, you can tell, is written by Michael Beckwith and not Game Central. This is written by someone that is mainstream media and doesn't understand the games industry. Just thought, PS5 will get us some clicks. Let's click through. So there. Only this week there was what seemed to be the photos of the PlayStation 5 dev kits, though some aren't entirely convinced that they're the final design. Some aren't entirely convinced. Anyone with any knowledge of how the games industry works and dev kits is absolutely convinced that that is not what it is. It's a dev kit. It literally, within the actual images, there was the PS4 and the PS4 Pro dev kits, which look nothing like the PS4 and PS4 Pro. That is the point, Michael Beckwith. Do your research. Lazy journalism. Anyway, now, Let's Go Digital, the site that originally leaked the dev kit's appearance, has discovered another patent that could be related to it, a multifunctional controller. Is this what the new controller will look like? Probably not. No, as previous patents have already shown that the DualShock 5 will be very similar in design to the current PlayStation 4 controllers. So what is this new one? According to the patent filing, the game and watch looking thing can connect to multiple devices via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and transfer data between them. There's quite a bit of potential for this. For example, the controller could possibly allow you to play PC games on your TV or transfer music and videos from one device to another. Apparently, and maybe most impressive of all, it can provide you with context-sensitive information. Outside, it will offer you a map of your location. At a friend's house, it can fire up a game for you to play. Let's Go Digital adds that the controller includes things like a fingerprint sensor and heart rate monitor, making it one very versatile device. But is this rectangular design the final look? It seems unlikely. Let's Go Digital theorises that the patent is really only for the technology and doesn't represent how it'll actually be used, to the point where that the features could be added to the DualShock 5 instead. Or it might even be that it might not even be anything to do with the PlayStation 5 specifically. After all, it's not the only bit of consumer hardware Sony makes. The PlayStation 5 is currently scheduled to be released at the end of 2020 with an official reveal expected sometime in the spring. My thoughts there is, by calling it PlayStation Multifunctional Game Controller, as Let's Go Digital have done on the top of that image, why would you call it a PlayStation multifunctional game controller when they've said that it's not specifically linked to PlayStation?
Well, for a start, you would never be able to use that on a PlayStation 5 anyway, because it's got no analog sticks and no L2 and R2. So I have no idea what purpose this has. What would you do with it? It hasn't even. According to this pattern, it hasn't even got a headphone jack. So how do you listen to music on it? Is it just a walking speakers?
A remote?
That's what it looks like. It just looks like a really shite remote.
Play downloadable minigame. What is this, a Sega Dreamcast? Listen to, I mean,
who's checking their email on that when you got a mobile phone? This just screams of shite.
I think we definitely take it with a pinch, because like one of the things they mentioned in there, according to the patent, the game and watch looking thing connect to multiple devices via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and transfer data between them, which is all there you go, and or transfer music and videos from one device to another. I mean,
when people stream,
there's licensing and what's it? DRCM? Is that what it's called? Whatever. Digital rights management thing, a DRM, whatever. That stuff. It's not always that simple to just move music from one device to the next. And not only that, that's not something that people have done. I mean, yeah, fair enough. If it was 2004, you'd Bluetooth the song to your mate so he could have it on his phone.
2005?
Yeah, that's what I mean. 2004, 2005. But it's now 2020 almost. Do people really need to Bluetooth files and videos from one to the other? No. And so, yeah.
Who's streaming anything to, like, you don't download anything, you just stream it. Like, who's watching something or listening to something on that? This would have been sound in the early 2000s. You could see, well, it kind of has a very, very way left feel of what a PSP used to look like, but just very much square. All it's missing is an analog stick underneath the D-pad, and you pretty much have what looks like a PSP. But this isn't going anywhere. Like, it can't be used on a PlayStation. They want to use it for a PlayStation multifunctional game controller. It's not happening. Where they've got this pattern from and what year they've got this pattern from, it makes no sense. Yeah, like they said, it's not going to look anything like this. It's just based off a 3D design with the technology that's inside it. But no, it looks like something that you'd get from something that's been imported over from China. Yes, that's what it looks like. What's that?
It was like some sort of duff controller. Do you know? I'll just turn it around rather than sending it over to Babe. We're just kind of like looking at those. You can see it there. If you're watching on the video services, I've basically just searched for like NES portable control thing, because you used to get like little. It was like, I can't remember what it was called. Was it a NES Mini or a NES Classic or whatever? And you just get like one Mario game on it, and it wasn't like full colour screen and stuff like that. And it just looks like that. So if you search for like NES controller thing, so that what's that what's that thing you want?
Yeah, the RG350.
RG3. It's like, it looks like that, but just duff.
Yeah. Well, it said it's almost like the Wii U gamepad, except not terrible. What about that looks like the Wii Nintendo gamepad? The Wii U Nintendo gamepad I actually quite liked, because you had the little screen in the middle. It's before the Switch, so if you wanted to play it away from the TV, if Mrs. Baby wanted to watch TV, I could play with it. And for my massive hands, it fit, and I actually quite liked it. But this...
Yeah, it's almost like the Wii U gamepad, except not terrible. This is also the same article that thinks a PS5 dev kit might be the final PS5. So, no! Yeah. Chill your beans, guys. That's not how it works. Dead to D-Mac, thank you very much for the host. And Victor Sweet says... Morning, lads. Sent you a tweet. Got you on the TV at work. Good morning, everyone. How's things, Mr. Sweet, Mr. H?
He was in the stream yesterday while I was playing. Him and D-Mac both in the stream yesterday while I was streaming some Destiny.
See, I only saw that. Like, it was like when you get your notifications on your phone. It was like, what does it say for us? Manage your mobile dashboard or whatever. And it was like 2 hours ago. I was like, oh, nice. I went on, and it was like, stream is 2 hours and 1 minute long. Like, you must have just gone on.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, let's move on, because I'm not that article kind of triggers me a little bit, because yes, there is some potential cool technology, and I love the fact that people at this point start going sniffing around patents and things like that. It's just written so poorly.
Well, I mean, when it looks like that, don't bring it to my attention as well, because I ain't gonna take it seriously.
Anyway, moving on to our next bit of news. Which one are we jumping onto?
I've just opened a tab. Which one do you want to go for?
Is that one?
Yes, it tickled me this weekend.
Let's have this one. Let's go with this. This is, you know, it's Monday morning. It's start of December. There's not much money going around, because, you know, it's build up to Christmas and that, and everyone's kind of looking forward to having a few weeks off with the family or whatever, or just a few days if you're not got 2 weeks like me. A bit bad. Yes. So yeah, do you know what we thought? Do you know what? We'll only bring you the hard hitting, like, dramatic, journalistic, uncovering news. So here we are. New Jesus Sim will let you do all the best Jesus stuff in first person. Yay!
I hope to God Alistair's in this chat, because this is definitely a game that he would absolutely love to play.
I Am Jesus Christ is more than just a walking on water simulator. This is once again by Polygon and written by Michael McWhertor. What a name. The publisher of Cooking Simulator, Car Mechanic Simulator, Thief Simulator VR, and other simulation-style PC games is releasing a sim of godlike proportions. It's called I Am Jesus Christ, and it puts you into the humble sandals. It puts you into the humble sandals of Jesus of Nazareth himself, letting you perform dozens of first-person miracles.
Have you seen the trailer for this? No. It's so good. It's so good.
So you put the trailer on. I'll scroll down and keep reading.
Right. I'll turn the sound off. Oh, it's so good.
So a new trailer for I Am Jesus Christ showcases a greatest. Okay, I can't even read it now because I'm looking at it. So for those of you on audio services, some dude with a beard's got glowing hands.
Oh, what's this guy going to have?
A new trailer for I Am Jesus Christ showcases a greatest hits of New Testament miracles. Jesus cures the blind, spawns fish until a hungry peasant's bucket overflows, and even walks on water to command a stormy sea to obey him. The trailer even offers a first-person perspective on Christ's crucifixion as his sacred heart meets to please sake. Just as it was described in the Bible, And of course, there's the resurrection. On Steam, we get a peek of a few more moments from Christ's life in first person. Jesus washing his disciples' feet, the Last Supper, brawling with Satan. While developer Simula M focuses mainly on the miracles, it sounds like there will be some gameplay challenges here. You can try to save the world as he did, the game's Steam description reads. Are you ready to fight with Satan in the desert, exorcising demons and curing sick people, or calm the storm in the sea? As first-person saviour games go, I Am Jesus Christ looks pretty good, at least in the visuals department. Exactly how it will play remains to be seen. The Windows PC game does not have a release date beyond coming soon. Hopefully it's very soon. Someone's got a birthday coming up.
Yes, me. It's my birthday today. Your Lord and Saviour.
I need to.
Do you want to put it on again?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is so good. The best minute of your life. I'll tell you what, I might be able to. I've got it on low.
Comments in the chat. Would you play a Jesus simulator game? This is the question that we need to know. This has got to be the fish in the bucket, Joey. Oh,
it's got little magical notes coming through. This is probably the most iconic thing we've ever shown.
The thing is, he's walking on water there. He had proper hard footprints, like. Apologies for the people listening to audio service. You're gonna have to bear with because this is something that you need to see.
As always, it's going to be available in the show notes, so you can go over and watch it for yourself. Oh God.
Well,
I don't know what we can actually say about that. Like, what do we want to say? Craig said, I hope that they have an option to use your powers for evil. I said, I always like playing a villain in games like that. Well, games like that, not Jesus Christ Simulator, but like you always end up being the good guy in games. I just want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, just imagine like
I want to be Satan.
That feeding like the 5,000 or whatever, where it's like some bread and some fish or whatever. It'd be like celery. It'd be like, oh no,
there's a bucket full of broccoli.
No.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. I seen it this morning and pissed myself. So I thought we definitely need to show the people.
Jesus Simulator. I don't even know where to go from that one.
No, neither do I. I can't wait to see more of it anyway when it comes out.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts. We will move swiftly on from one godlike piece of gameplay.
Oh God, I know where we're going with this one. Then.
To another. Ding, 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some more discussions about PUBG. This is written by Vikki Blake for Eurogamer. And the article says, PUBG thinks it's found a way to stop the players camping in the middle of the safe zone. Land, loot, and camp in the circle for the rest of the match no more, is the tagline. Over the last 3 days, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has been testing a new feature to prevent players from camping in the middle of the safe zone without engaging competitors. Land, loot, and camp in the circle for the rest of the match is no more, the team stated in a recent blog post. Circle squatters that felt safe not to engage the enemy will now be forced to keep it moving as a second blue zone is being added to the existing circle. The new inner blue zone will be both a camping deterrent and an indicator of where the next circle will be. Dubbed the blue hole mode, the team has been trialling a second blue zone that appears within the safe one. This inner blue circle is the same size and position as the safe zone that precedes it. Should I say? And it. I'm just trying to take this in before I read it. I've not read this article. Okay, so this inner blue circle is the same size and position as the safe zone that precedes it, and it'll damage players camping in the inner blue zone at the same rate as that of the next blue zone phase. Players didn't know where the next circle would be, so whoever was lucky enough to be in the next circle had a higher chance of winning, the blog post added. As the next circle location was unknown, players could often find themselves fighting with the blue zone more than their foes and have to hoof it the entire match. For now, testing has been restricted to PUBG Labs, and it remains to be seen if the team will roll out the feature across public servers too. Watch this space. In other news, Dataman has recently uncovered evidence that a clan system was on its way to PUBG PC and console ahead of the formal reveal. Known leaker, player IGN, outlined a number of secrets squirreled away in PUBG's game files and believed they found evidence that a clan system, which rolled out for mobile players last year, was set to come to other platforms too. Don't forget, crossplay for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is now live for console players. Trying to figure this out. So
has he got an idle timer? Is that what it's trying to say? If you're idle in these blue zones for more than a few seconds, is this going to start dealing you damage?
I imagine.
Because idle, I mean, you could just keep on moving your analog stick left and right while you're lying down on the floor or something.
No, I think it's more just a case of, like. So if looking at that image we got on the screen, the bigger circle is the safe zone.
Yeah.
If you were to kind of hit the smack bang center of that, you could just sit in a building. Not that blue circle, but the bigger white circle.
This one.
So if you were kind of like just above the water in the middle of it, say that's the smack bang center of the circle, you just jump in a building there and you sit there, and you're almost definitely going to be in the next circle, possibly the next two. So you get people that will just do that and just sit in buildings and sit and wait it out until it becomes more of a need to fight. But what they're saying is they are showing where the next circle will be, which is the blue circle, but then turning that into the blue, so it's like being outside the circle. So it's stopping people from camping in the next circle because.
Okay. So you have to play in this area.
Yeah.
'Cause if you go inside this one, it's basically the same as being outside that one.
So that'll take your health down whilst you're in it. So if you go there and sit there waiting for the next circle, you're going to lose your health.
Surely you're allowed to go in there and loot. You just have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Because that'd be shit if you just have to play in all this.
It'll be like, I mean, I'm a blue player in terms of, so when the game comes in, if I'm at the bottom end of the map on Military Island kind of thing, I'll happily loot whilst the blue comes in for the first 1 or 2 phases, knowing that if I've got the meds, I can out heal it quite easily.
Yeah.
It's only when it gets to phase 3, 4 and it starts chunking a bit. So that wouldn't bother me too much in the earlier phases, although as it gets a bit later on, how does that work? Because when it gets to phase 4, your health starts going boom, 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 and if you've got 5 med kits, you'll probably get 100, 200 meters, and you'd be dead, kind of thing. Whereas if you were smack bang in the center of that circle, the next circle, and you didn't know it, obviously, like let's say. Use your mouse a sec, because I'm assuming the mouse shows up on the screen.
It does, yeah.
So, like, let's say you were here, you're about to go into that blue circle, so the blue just about comes in, so you jump into that next circle, but then you find yourself here. This is the next circle. You're in the middle of that blue zone. Like, does it just drop on you? Do you start losing your health? Like, oh no, randomly in the blue. How does that work?
It can't start chunking you straight away. It must be an idle thing.
Well, it mentions like
because all of that will be untouched loot inside there. So you're gonna want to go and get involved in that. There's gonna be untouched buildings, because if that's phase 3, you've had to make your way from the island at the bottom. Sorry, for those of you that are watching this on the screen, I've got my mouse pointing to where I'm talking about. So, say this is phase 3 here, that's going to be phase 4. If you're starting there, you're going to eventually want to get to there. If you're making your way through, surely you want to be in there getting your stuff ready for it. This is to stop people from camping, not to stop people from looting.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. I mean, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that you get most fights on rotations. When the circle shifts, people have to rotate into new buildings, and when people are moving, that's when you get the fights, that's when you get the death, and that's when the excitement comes. And there's always been an issue with PUBG. People love the early game, people love the late game, but there's kind of a slow mid game. That's where people, like, usually everyone lands, you have a fight to the death, 30% of the server dies, everyone then spends time armouring up, getting looted up, moving around, and then as you get to the final circle, it goes from like 20 people to no people in no time at all. So that means there's 50%, so 30% die a bit at the beginning, 20% die quickly at the end. That means you've got a long 50% in the middle, and I think this is probably them trying to keep that a bit tastier, making people move around, having people meet each other on that.
Do you not think this is going to slow the game down though? Because if you know full well that you're going to die in this blue circle if you enter it, people are just going to camp outside the blue circle in buildings here, waiting for that to eventually turn the neutral colour and then wait for the next blue circle.
Well, it kind of happens in that. I mean, I like to play edge, so I will sit on the edge of the circle and try camp people coming in, so I can take people that are doing late rotations or coming in with a bit of blue damage, knowing that I've got an easier kill on them, kind of thing. But that, I mean, how, and then this, I mean, seeing it work might kind of give me a bit more clue. But like what they're saying is that blue circle on the screen, the inner blue will be the new players, the safe zone. But how does that work? So, like, when the circle hits in, do you have to take, like, because obviously they have to touch before it switches. Are you always going to take a bit of blue damage? Do you have to kind of jump over the line at the last second? Or does it kind of...
I reckon it'll have a 5-second countdowner.
But even then, that 5 seconds, like I say, imagine you then, you've got 5 seconds, you leg it from the edge of the edge of that safe zone into the next one, and then the next circle comes in, even with a 5-second warning of like, oh, this is the next circle, and you're in it. It's like, shit, in 5 seconds. If it was phase 5, you'd be dead in 5 seconds. Phase 6, you'd be dead in 3 seconds, kind of thing. So, like, if that new circle pops on you, you then, rather than encouraging you to not camp, it's almost the opposite. It's forcing you to run rather than don't camp. It's like, okay, run to survive. So I'm not sure.
I've just realised this is phase 1, isn't it?
Because
the plane's there. So that's still quite a big chunk of the map and still quite a long game to get through.
So the plane has just hit the screen. You can see the bigger circle is the safe zone. So anything outside of that safe zone will start to get hit with phase 1 damage. Anything inside that blue circle will start to take damage. So that instantly, rather than stopping people from camping, like you say, people are just going to camp on the edge of that safe zone. Nobody will go within that first circle. So all it's kind of doing is alienating 10%, 20%, whatever that section is of the map, which is about 25-30% of the playable zone. It's just it's too far the opposite way. It's not for me, Jeff. It's not for me. It's not for me, Jeff.
Interesting to see it in action. I mean, this is going to completely change how the esports side of it works anyway.
I imagine they won't put it in. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's been added into the game, like I don't know if vaulting, being able to ledge grab. I'm not sure if that actually made it into esports. There was a lot of stuff that's added in this year that they've not put into the esports system because obviously everyone's trained. They launched PEL and MPL, and then they were just kind of like, oh, okay, new things for the live servers, and all these PUBG experts are like going, okay, I'm a pro, I've learnt this, and now you want me to play something that's completely different. So they shelved a lot of that for when it came to the esports. Obviously, next season, no doubt it'll all be in. But
you can say that with any esports game, couldn't you? The amount of esports games that, like FIFA and PES, for instance, they have a new one every year. This esports been going on for 3 years or so. They've got to expect change at some point. It's just that you have to do it after the season, not midway through, I imagine.
Although that is only in PUBG Labs, which is basically it's kind of like the test server. PUBG Labs is something they launched like last week before, and it's essentially a separate testing zone within the game, so they can go in and try new stuff. So I mean, don't get me wrong, it potentially could be cool. I'd definitely try it as something different. Would I want that? No, because the point of the battle royale is you all have the big playable area and you all are pushed together. It's like it's like, oh no, you can't go there, and it changes it a bit for me. It's not for me, Jeff. But let's move on. Onto our next article.
Our last one. Oh no, second to last.
Yeah, I've added one more. So let me.
Basically, I put this one in because this has kind of been my weekend.
This has kind of been your last 2 weeks, essentially. So let's bring this up on screen. So from my ding 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 word to Bibby's new ding 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 ding. Anyway, so playing Destiny 2, which is Bibby's ding ding, on my vacation made me rethink Stadia. We should probably have a separate sort of ding ding for Stadia, which is just more like a.
It's two things that we kind of, Destiny's only just starting to make it onto the show, but Stadia's definitely something. Stadia gets us a lot of clicks, believe it or not, on SoundCloud. A lot of people listen to things with Stadia on it. So
this is written by Ryan Gilliam for Polygon, and he says, playing Destiny 2 on my vacation made me rethink Stadia. Destiny 2 on the go is not to be underestimated. So into the article, with Destiny 2 Season of the Undying winding down and Bungie soon to replace it with Season of Dawn, I knew I had some work to do over the Thanksgiving break. I had a limited amount of time to accomplish my Destiny goals. Unfortunately, I had some family travelling to do over the long holiday. My Destiny plans looked grim, but I found an unlikely Destiny ally in my travels. Google Stadia. Thanksgiving in Sin City. Hesitant to buy my own Stadia, especially given the worrying reviews. I used a friend's buddy code the Wednesday before my Hello?
What the fuck is that?
Not sure if you guys are getting that. Someone has just decided that they decided to break into the Ice Cream Flood studio. So there is a lot of banging. That's on our end. There isn't anyone trying to enter your house. So you're fine. Okay, if you're in the car, no one's breaking into it. Anyway, or maybe they are, but I don't know. They could be if they are. I mean, stay vigilant, guys. So I used a friend's buddy code the Wednesday before my big trip. This would let me test the technology without having to risk the expense. Without any hope that it would work the way I needed it to, I threw my MacBook, my Xbox One Elite controller and a USB adapter into my backpack. My first stop was at my parents' house. On a whim, I sat on their old couch, hooked everything up and connected to my father's less than reliable internet. I loaded into Destiny 2 and was amazed. The game's cross-save worked flawlessly. I loaded my Guardian into the world and entered what would become a 3-hour grindfest in the Vex offensive activity. Despite the connection, my gameplay experience was mostly smooth. Occasionally I'd hit a lag spike that would last for a few seconds, but I was always able to recover. By the end of my play session, I'd made considerable progress towards my goal, the undying in-game title. I logged off impressed by the technology. Not every experience hit that same high. My first foray into using Google Stadia in the airport didn't go well. I was able to start a Vex offensive run in LAX, but got booted out due to a poor connection a few minutes in. My hotel in Las Vegas was both Stadia's saving grace and my biggest frustration. My connection to the hotel's network constantly wobbled from good to okay, meaning every second of gameplay lagged. Occasionally, I'd lose complete control of my character. Despite that disruption, I was able to make progress toward the undying title in the odd hours of my trip. Normally, I'd spend this vacation time playing something on my Switch or my phone, wishing I was near my powerful gaming machines for grinding purposes. Stadia let me make serious progress. Perfect for Destiny, not for anything else. So let's check out our Google Destiny controller. So with my connection issues, even the minor ones, I'd never commit to a Destiny raid on Stadia or play ranked multiplayer. Anything that takes significant skill or reflexes into account is impossible if my connection is mildly unstable. But for mindless grinding, I can't think of a better platform. Unfortunately, Stadia has a host of other problems with its infrastructure. It really only works with... Well, I've lost it now. It really only works with Destiny 2 because of the perfect storm of Destiny's transition edition of cross-save and free offering as part of Stadia Pro. Having to buy your games over again makes using the service for anything else a tough sell. Destiny 2, despite being a 2-year-old game, may be the best use for Stadia right now, especially if you're a long-time player like me who loves the grind and has made serious progress on other platforms. With the right game and the right features, Stadia sings, mostly on key. The thought of finally finishing Assassin's Creed Odyssey via Stadia sounds great, but not when I consider having to start all over again, not to mention the cost of a second copy. Despite the choppy service and the poor infrastructure, Google Stadia sold me over my Thanksgiving weekend. Being able to progress in my grindy, space nonsense game anywhere is just too useful to pass up. But I have no illusions as to what Stadia is for me. For now, it's just a Destiny machine, a way for me to play public events in bed or on a family vacation. Even when Google Stadia doesn't work perfectly, the kind of freedom it allows can make a big impact. It's easy to look at my time vacation and see an exciting future for game streaming, even if that future may not be with Stadia. Do you know, I quite respect that article.
Yeah, that's why I picked it out. I read it this morning. I thought it's very well written. And it's coming from someone who knows and understands what Stadia is now, but it's on a very, very personal level to him.
That noise was Finney scratching upstairs.
Jesus Christ.
So, for everyone that doesn't know how the Ice Cream Studios work, obviously we've got the broadcast studio here, and Ice Cream is part of Jelly and Ice Cream. Jelly Media is our parent company anyway. We have the studios and some meeting spaces and the offices and stuff upstairs, and we have an office dog called Finney, and he was scratching. Yes. So that's someone breaking in was a dog having an itch. There we go. But yeah, this article, written by Ryan Gilliam, he clearly has a life. Yeah, and by that I mean he doesn't just get to sit and play games in one room all the time. Life could be travelling somewhere for work or travelling to meet family at Thanksgiving or whatever. And having portable access to your gaming console is something that he would like, and I've mentioned it before. I like the idea of playing games on the go, and I like the idea of taking my Vita or my Switch, but I want to play my Master League on pairs on my PS4 or my PS5 or whatever console it will be in the future, but then I want to just whip out my portable device and continue the same game, cross save or cross What was it?
Yeah, it's cross save. Yeah.
What's the other one? Cross progression. I love the idea of that, having that able to take it on you going. Yes, Destiny is different in terms of it has cross save. Is that so? You can.
Yeah. For instance, today I've installed Destiny on my PlayStation on my desk. I've been playing on PC at home. All I'm going to do is log in on my PlayStation profile, log into my Destiny account on my PlayStation, and continue my same save.
That is slightly different, though, isn't it? That is cross progression in terms of it knows where you are in terms of.
Yeah. So my character is on my phone now.
Yeah,
in my app.
But that's not necessarily a save file. That's a progression in terms of it knows that you've leveled up to this point and you've got this. So it takes your progression, whereas a cross save would be like playing through a story mode.
It's the same thing.
And staying it.
It's literally the same thing. So all my adventures that I've done on my PC at home, I'll log in today. All of them will still be done.
Yeah, but they're stats, is what I'm saying. So there's two separate things. So there's cross progression and cross save. So say if you were playing a Master League or playing through The Last of Us or something like that. The Last of Us is probably a bit of a poor example, but if you had to level up Joel, that's progression. But then you take Joel into a mission, that's your gameplay and that's your save. And that's one of the things that could be apparent cross progression, cross save. This dude calls it cross saving here, which is not quite right. But having
for Destiny it is though.
It's cross progression.
No, for Destiny it's the exact same thing. So everything. So the cross save and cross progression, you have your character. Fair enough, I've got him to 847. But everything that I've done on my PC, when I log into on my PlayStation today, I'll pick up from exactly where I left off yesterday.
Yeah, that's like I say. But it doesn't. It's not necessarily the same thing because there is only one thing that you can attribute to Destiny. So it's the same thing in terms of you can only have one. So it's like, say if you started a raid and then logged off, you couldn't then pick up your phone or whatever and continue middle of that raid.
Well, no, because the raid would have finished by then.
Yeah, well,
but if I'm midway, I think I might have even finished midway through a quest yesterday. So when I log back in today, I'll be able to pick up the quest again from exactly where I left off.
You won't be able to pause it and then go. Is what I'm saying, and that it is once you hit key points and you've saved it down, you've saved your progression. Anyway, going off topic, back to the article. Having the ability to do that, and yes, you can only do it in one game, and yes, it's only possible because it was free and he didn't have to pay another stupid what was it? There was some games that have been announced, and the Stadia version was like £10 or $10 more than the other ones. Anyway, paying for the same game again, paying it at a stupidly expensive rate. And then only having certain things, so not being able to play competitive, not being able to play ranked, not being able to do any of that stuff, but being able to just do the shitty grindy bits. Yeah. Love the idea of that, even though it's still a bit crap. You're starting to see where the benefits of streamer portable tech comes from.
Definitely. But this is why I've been saying that my Switch is my preferred console. Not only obviously my PC is my desired console. Like if I've got an hour and I know I'm going to be at home, my PC is the first thing I'm booting up. It's not my Switch. But if I'm going out or I'm sat downstairs, I can't just pick my PC up and move it downstairs. I'm going to play my Switch in the front room. But Stadia is offering something else. This guy's using his MacBook, an Xbox One controller, and a web browser, I imagine, to be able to play this game, because you can play it in Chrome, can't you? Yeah. So I'm guessing that's what he's playing on. So yeah, it is the way forward, and it is the future. Unfortunately, the way it is at the moment for me, it especially won't work because of my internet at home. I mean, it's more than capable of. I stream all the time from home. I play games all the time at home. I download and stream videos at home. It's more than capable of that, but it seems like we've got a 300 meg connection upstairs, and it's still. You seen it last week when I was trying to play Destiny on the. I think it's a bit choppy.
I think it's not to do with speeds. It's something within it, something else that's beyond my feeble northern mind. But we've got stupid bandwidth, but whatever it is, I don't know if it's server ping, whatever, distance from servers or whatever, I don't know what it is, but something is affecting the latency. So watching you play it the other day, you weren't in some sort of like 100 player fight, you were in a dark room in a corridor, so not even shitloads of lighting and textures. It was dark, so there wasn't a massive amount of stuff to be loaded there. It could have, for all intents and purposes, have been PT. You were in just this little area and you couldn't really see too far, and then you turn a corner and there's a few things and you kill them, but then it would be like
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you've not done anything there. There's no reason for it to be that. So if you're doing that against AI, NPCs, fair enough. You can smash.
You got half a chance of that.
But if it was a case of playing against you're playing against Nico Di Maria, who plays all day, all the time, every day, and it's like, pow! Oh well, I'm dead. I didn't even see it.
If I'm never going to be able to go into like a Gambit or a Crucible and be able to play against other people, it's never going to work.
That's what he's generally playing the game.
But he was saying something like he was at his dad's with less desirable internet, and it was for the most part smooth for him. But again, he's just grinding down the normal stuff. He knows playing online isn't going to be the best thing for him.
There is clearly still bullshit issues with the latency. Going to less than reliable internet and having a really decent enough time, as opposed to having amazing internet and having a shit time, there's a lot of stuff within it that needs to be worked out. But I like seeing what we knew kind of would be there. Yes, we're still miles away. Yes, they are developing their own titles. No, they haven't been developing them for long enough. So yes, it will be 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years before we start seeing Stadia titles fully hitting the ground and making use of all the functions and developing specifically for that format. But I just hope that they keep it rolling enough to get to that point where we get the PS5 launches and Stadia goes, oh, no, you don't need to buy Stadia 2. We'll just play it on the same console because it's all in the cloud and we're processing it on our servers. You just need the stick and the controller.
I'll be very interested to see his thoughts in 2 months' time when his buddy pass runs out and he has to either buy Stadia himself or not use it at all. Because at the moment he's been given it for free. Then he's playing it with his own peripherals on his own laptop, on his own web browsers. So whether or not he actually wants to continue with the path that he's gone down, saying that it's beautiful, the fact that I can pick it up and play it wherever I want to play it. But when it comes to using his own money, will he want to be able to do this? I mean, it's for someone like Nico, who has bought this purely for being able to play Destiny wherever he goes. That's perfect, and it's something that's hit with me this weekend. So when I've gone downstairs, I just want to be able to pick it up and play it on my Switch. I wish you'd bring a Switch version out on it, because that would be amazing. But yeah, the fact that you can load it up onto whatever his PC, his TV, his laptop, his whatever phone, if he's got a Google Pixel phone, that's a beautiful way to be able to play games.
Just thinking about it, like, I have PUBG on the PS4, I have it on the Xbox, I have it on the PC, got the mobile version, which is mainly for Bants and travelling back from Resonate with me. But they're all separate things in terms of I've got certain things unlocked on the PC that I can't use on the PlayStation, and none of the accounts that there is no cross progression there. But even if there was, what he's saying is that you can use it for any grindy stuff, but that instantly gets rid of any BR stuff. Because if you're a guy that has a season pass in a BR, be it Fortnite, be it COD that's just launched their stuff, be it PUBG, whatever. There is no way that you could go, I'm going to grind my season pass, because in a BR, it's that competitive game. And you're playing against someone that's mouse and keyboard on a hardwired Ethernet PC connection, you've got no chance. So it is good for people that have PvP and PvE games, because you can still just go in and grind your PvE, but there's no way you can PvP in this.
Do you reckon this is why we haven't seen a Battle Royale on Stadia yet?
Probably. I think so.
I don't think there's any fully fledged multiplayer games, barring Destiny, on there. There's Grid, which is, again, PvE and PvP.
I mean, you look at Epic and how forward-thinking they are, pushing for cross-play. They made Sony get him on that. There isn't no two ways about it. Sony can say that they did or didn't or whatever. Epic made it happen with the power of Fortnite. They've launched their own launcher. They're giving away free things left, right and centre. Epic would be all over that if they thought that it would give a good representation of their game.
For Christmas as well.
Yeah, exactly.
120 quid. The amount of money, it's a license to print money for them, so it's interesting to see they haven't brought any Battle Royale game out on that yet. Never mind Fortnite, never mind H1Z1, PUBG, Realm Royale or whatever it could be. Paladins isn't even on it either, which is obviously like the Overwatch kind of thing. Is it? Oh, I don't even think Overwatch is on it.
No.
So it's very interesting that these big, massive multiplayer games that you can get on every single console, you can even get Overwatch on Switch nowadays, that it hasn't made its way over to the Stadia yet.
Just having a quick look at, I just typed in new Stadia games, and and yeah, there's no particularly. I mean, obviously Marvel's Avengers, which is the Square Enix game, Cyberpunk, Doom Eternal, Gods and Monsters, Orcs Must Die 3, Destroy All Humans, Get Packed. They're all coming 2020, but there, once again, nothing there that just smacks that it's multiplayer.
No.
I mean, all of those will have a PvE element to them as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Epic they've got money to burn, so I reckon they will have a team working on, okay, well, let's make the Steam port, the Stadia port, let's start doing testing on that. But they're probably also sat there going, okay, we'll get it ready, we'll get our ducks in a row for when the technology is ready. At the moment it's not. The software is ready because it's on mobile, it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's everywhere. So for them to be able to have me playing on this and Bibby playing on the streaming PC over there, and we can have the same game together, but a Stadia, which is effectively a PC for that, to not have its own version as well.
Yeah. Because for playing Fortnite, I've played it where I've been on my Switch in the office upstairs, and Lewis and Luke have been on their PlayStations, and all three of us have been able to play together. So it's not as if it can't be done. I just don't understand why it's not on there yet. They mustn't trust their own infrastructure to be able to host that game.
Yeah, I think that's dead right. But hopefully that changes. Hopefully that improves. Because I would like to be able to take something that I can grind, take that away. I mean, because for me, I mentioned Master League. I don't have the time to smash through Master League because I've got so many other games that I never get played for. So I do a couple of seasons, but when I'm away from home, be it on a train to London for a meeting or whatever, having the time to continue that sort of stuff there would be class. Taking that stuff away, and just something like that would only need like a digital handshake to like, so that the servers know where you are in terms of your progression. I mean, that's the kind of thing that Stadia should boom. Okay, or just you can get Stadia apps, can't you? So you could just effectively play it on your phone. I mean, that sounds incredible to me. The fact that this guy is saying, okay, it is crap in terms of its connection, it's not reliable for ranked.
Yeah,
we know all of that. But for someone that just wants to grind a PvE environment, then it is really good. However, there are still the significant blocks in, like he mentions. It was a free game that he got a pass for. He didn't have to buy anything, and it's just that one game that he can use. So it's a good Destiny buddy. So I like the fact that we're seeing it being used for real world case studies. But yeah, it gives me a little bit of hope. I mean, it's still massively flawed system and disappointing, but it gives me a bit of hope for it, which is nice to see. But a little bit of hope, from one bit of hope to another. So we are obviously huge names in the world of Twitch, he says. You know, I mean, there are other people that are out there that might have had a little bit more success than we have, including this guy. You may have heard us talk about the two-time, back-to-back, 1993-94 blockbuster video game champion. This is an article on The Hollywood Reporter. This actually broke last Friday, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. Streamer Dr. Disrespect inks TV development deal with Walking Dead creators Skybound. This is an exclusive piece of content from him. So the gaming content creator will develop a narrative scripted series based on his popular alter ego character. Popular Twitch streamer Guy Dr. Disrespect Beam the fourth has secured. Did you know he's actually called Herschel, not Guy? Yeah, that's what a name. Has secured a deal with Skybound Entertainment, the Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman's multi-platform production company, to develop a narrative scripted television series based on his character. The new deal, packaged by Skybound, Beam's agency CAA and his management, Boom.tv, is the first of its kind for a Twitch personality. Over the past few years, Beam and his over-the-top WWE-inspired alter ego, Dr. Disrespect, has become one of the top streamers on the Amazon-owned platform, where he boasts more than 3.8 million followers and has amassed more than 100 million views. We are pretty early in terms of the creative and direction we want to take it, Beam tells The Hollywood Reporter, but mentions they've had some early discussions around animation. There are lots of incredibly talented streamers, but there's something special about what Guy has done in creating this character, says Skybound co-founder and CEO David Alpert. We really believe there's a unique world around the Doctor. While Alpert is more demure in that description of Beam's creation, he does also note that Dr. Disrespect is is the largest figure to ever be in the video game space in the history of the world. A bit of on-brand marketing for the character's persona, that one. Both Beam and Alpert note the show will focus on how the Doctor became the Doctor and the backstory of the Doctor Disrespect character.
Oh my god, we're definitely going to have like an 8-year-old Doctor Disrespect headphones on.
Mustache as well.
Yeah.
You can't, and the backstory of Doctor Disrespect character, you can't fully explore that in the stream itself, but getting inside that narrative is what got us excited about working with Beam, says Alpert. The show is still in its early creative stages and does not have a network yet. The one thing I try to focus on is making sure everything stays consistent, adds Beam. You don't want to lose the authenticity of the character. Beam says he doesn't see himself as a pioneer for streamers, but he does admit that deal signals a big step for fellow streaming talent. We're trying to take things to the next level, and hopefully we'll have an effect that reverberates and legitimizes the world of streaming, he says. Every time a new medium emerges, it's dismissed, adds Alpert. Rock and roll was referred to as noise when it first emerged, but today my kids are taught that the Beatles are geniuses. Streamers have landed big paydays this year in the burgeoning war between platforms to sign exclusive deals. The trend kicked off in August when Twitch superstar Tyler Ninja Blevins announced he had signed with competitor Mixer, Microsoft's streaming platform, in a deal rumoured to be worth upwards of $50 million. A number of other high-profile streamers have shuffled places between YouTube, Facebook, Twitch and Mixer in the months since. Streaming is a full-time job for Beam currently, where he appears live each week, Monday through Friday, for upwards of 8 hours. Anyway, that is the bread and butter right now, he says. Twitch, his primary platform, has been extremely flexible, he says, with providing openings for him to work on his new project with Skybound. While the focus currently on the television show, Beam says that there could be some opportunities that run parallel to the series in the future, noting Skybound's work in other media such as comics and games. Dr. Disrespect comic. Ultimately, Beam's goal is that of his character. World domination, baby.
Oh god, I just love him. I just absolutely love him, and it's going to be interesting to see the direction that he takes with a TV show. Or it'd have been better suited for a comic, I reckon, because you can a bit more. He doesn't have to act, so you could just go in whatever direction he'd want to go in. There's no doubt about his acting capabilities now with the way that he is in stream. If he can do that for 8 hours a day, then he's going to absolutely nail.
Did you see that WWE skit where he was there for like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect, what are you doing? I'm looking for somebody. And that was it. Nothing about it before, nothing about it since. It was just like, boom, that's it. In, out, gone. So, yeah, I think any of it would work with him. I mean, interestingly, though, one thing we reference regularly on this channel is Kind of Funny Games, the Kind of Funny Daily Show. We obviously are happy to say that they're an inspiration for a lot of the work that we do when it comes to the Scoop. But I was listening to their show from Friday, and they covered this article, and they were quite negative towards it. They clearly don't like Dr. Disrespect because of his toilet mishaps at E3 and anything else that he's had in the past that's been a bit controversial. They pick up on that. And obviously, covering it journalistically, you will obviously see a lot of the negatives, because that's when, if you don't pay attention to the norm, because you wouldn't have anything to report on, you're reporting every day. They obviously pick up on the extremes, and it was quite funny to see them talking about. They were openly saying they don't have very much knowledge of Twitch streaming stars and their content and their fans, and they were kind of saying, I'm not sure there's really much to it. I don't think there would be much demand for seeing the backstory of Doc. And I'm thinking, what? What? Well,
it's a well-known thing that Americans don't have a great sense of humour. So when it comes to stuff like this, and he's giving out gold every single day of the week for 8 hours a day. Absolute gold. There's a reason why he's got over 1 million followers on YouTube. There's a reason why he's got nearly 4 million followers on Twitch. There's a reason why he's got over 1 million followers on Twitter. The guy, fair enough, he's had a very sketchy past with what he's done. However, as a performer, the actors don't go through bad patches all the time with the personal lives and stuff like that. But you can guarantee they're still filling out cinemas.
Right, you look at. I don't know if he's not the highest paid man in Hollywood anymore, but he was. Robert Downey Jr. Was on the verge of just being dropped from everything indefinitely because of drugs and womanizing and whatever, and then he gets a role as Tony Stark, Iron Man, which was supposed to be going to someone else, and he has it, and then all of a sudden Robert Downey Jr. is amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, really like Robert Downey Jr. as well, but the thing with Dr. Disrespect and being a streamer that's a content creator and trying to push the envelope, sometimes you push the envelope too far, and that will happen, especially when you are live, uncensored, unscripted, unfiltered for 8 hours a day, every single day. You're going to do something that annoys people, and obviously there was a kick-off a few years ago in terms of him doing Asian accents on stream, and obviously he came out and apologised. Says, look, I see your point. So he's changed his behaviour, incorporated that, and that's the thing with streaming. When you live in a scapegoat finger point society as we do, and you want people to be fire him straight away. When one man is the business, he can't really fire himself. He's not going to go, well, that's it, we'll stop now.
Well, he is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Now we've got rid of Shroud and Ninja. Do you know what I mean?
Get out of here.
Get off our platform. But no, it's now them two have gone. Doc is up there as being one of the biggest, along with the likes of Summit. Nadeshot, I honestly thought he'd get a lot more views than he does on his stuff. He only hovers around about 10 to 12, whereas the Doc's on 50k every single night.
I think Nade it's just too sporadic with it though, in terms of he doesn't stream all the time, and he's jumping. It's like the Doc talks $1 million deals and he does $1 million deals, but he keeps his consistency in streams, whereas Nade does do $1 million deals but takes the time off to do the $1 million deals, and then his bangs are all about look at the deal, whereas Doc, the deals are there, baby.
You've got people like Tim the Tapman as well. He's obviously started to propel a lot more into the Twitch sphere. I mean, he always was a big streamer, but with the vacancies of the likes of Ninja and Shroud moving over to Mixer, there's more market share for the other people now. So yeah, I mean, I'm over the moon. I absolutely love the guy. I want to see this backstory, because the amount of things that he could do with that to make it absolutely hilarious. Like we said, if he was 8 years old in front of the SeaWorld killer whale exhibition playing NBA Jam, you just imagine him stood there with his mullet, his tash, his glasses, his headphones on as an 8-year-old kid. That shit just writes itself.
See, even without seeing, like, having all of the budget and all of the storyline being purely about him, just seeing them little skits where he's like just throws a bowling ball down the bowling alley, turns around, picks up the trophy and walks off before it's even hit it.
Is that his G Fuel advert?
Yeah.
It's just
seeing that stuff. You're just thinking that is 10-20 seconds playing dodgeball with kids.
Just launching the face. He's genius, just sat on a throne with all his trophies around him. He is a genius. Like, he is Twitch. I don't care. Like, he's literally pushed the envelope of what people are aspiring to be. The use of green screens and everything. Like, when he went to go and rescue Alex, did you see the video that he made on YouTube where it's like 10 minutes of decoding all of the different streams that he'd done? If you've not watched it, you need to. Anybody who's not watched it, where we had to go and rescue Alex from Area 51, he did like 6 weeks leading up to it, and in some of his streams he put little codes out, and some of the little codes you have to try and decode yourself.
On the fence thing,
but then you have to go into Discord and type Alex and then his number and stuff like that after decoding it all, and it was just mind-blowing the amount of thought that he'd put into it for no one to even notice it. The reason he's released that video is because no one even knew it was there. That's how smart it was.
Never watched him, says Pirate.
Jesus Christ. Right, where's that ban? Coming right.
Trigger.
Unfriend.
He's class. He is class. And it was funny listening to you, kind of funny, because he definitely is Marmite. It's chalk and cheese.
Samantha hates him.
Love him or hate him. And I remember putting it on in the house, and Danielle at first was like, it was just kind of like, and then I think it didn't help the fact that Doc does stuff that is weird, that's still even a bit for like, and just spitting down himself. I'm like,
licking his comb. It's like, ooh.
See, licking the comb, I think that's funny, cheesy, but spitting, I'm thinking, mate, that's just not practical. Sort that out. So, like, when I first put it on and he's spitting himself down, I was like, but now she completely gets it. Yeah. And I mean, she'll sit there, I'll be sat there, and Danielle will be like, give love tonight.
Well, that's the thing, when you sit, like, if I was to show Samantha what is like away from the camera, just as Guy doing interviews and stuff like that, she'd probably get it. But all she sees is this over-the-top guy just doing dumb shit constantly.
I find it, she's open to wrestling though, isn't she?
Yeah.
I find it bizarre in terms of that. I know a lot of people that are open to wrestling, and it doesn't matter what, and it's like, you could take 90s Rock with his $500 shirts and his Rolexes and stuff like that, and you can run with that, but you don't see the similarities in terms of...
It's because he's on Twitch.
Yeah.
As a wrestler, if he was in WWE now, he probably wouldn't get the kind of traction that he is now because he would have to wrestle at some point. But it's because he's seen. I think it's because he's on Twitch, and you associate Twitch with nerds.
Yeah, it's funny though. Let's jump back into that article. He did say something about every time a new medium emerges, it's dismissed. Rock and roll was referred to as noise when it first emerged, but today my kids are taught that the Beatles are geniuses.
See, I don't watch. I say roll back. I do watch stuff on normal TV, but I would say 60-70% of my time is reserved for watching Twitch. When I'm at home, if she's watching some shit on TV, I'll get my tablet out and I'll watch Twitch. While I'm cooking, I have a tablet in the kitchen for when I'm cooking.
Just
I
in
watch
case
Twitch.
none of you guys know, Bibby is a northern man. Just in case she's watching shit on TV.
Well, yeah, in case she watches shit on TV, I always have my tablet charged up so I can go and watch Twitch, because by the time I'm getting home, he's going live. So I can chop a few onions up, get a few peppers sorted out, bang them in the pan, and the dog's going wild.
See, Danielle has Twitch on and should be watching Halle or Hambino or whoever's on before I even get through the door, so... Cheers, love. Cheers, love.
Get it warmed up for you.
But yeah, I mean, it absolutely definitely is a genius, and I love watching him. And Pirate says that he's never watched him. Do you know, the best thing to do as well is, even if you don't like his content, which is fine, a lot of people, the fact that he is loud and is a bit brash, and even sometimes when I'm watching him and he annoys me, like you can tell when someone's in a bad mood, and you have off days. It's shit when you have off days and you're on camera, and he'll be playing games and he'll just be like, oh, fuck this game, get it, whatever. And sometimes he goes, that's it, delete, uninstall the game, and you're like, oh, that's funny that. Sometimes you can see it's just being a bit pissy and moaning. Everyone will do that, and I see that as well, and it still annoys me sometimes. I go, do you know, I can't bother with it today. It's just being a bit negative. It's on a downer, I'm on a downer, I don't want that, so I'll get rid of it, put something else on. But despite all that, whether you like him or whether you don't like him, or whether you're happy to accept that everyone can have that or not, just watching his content and seeing what he delivers, and the way that he's thinking outside the box in terms of, I've got a stream deck and a green screen, here's me sat in front of a pretty wall or whatever, or look at me, I've just cut out the screen and now I'm just sat in front of the game. For a lot of people, that's like, wow, he's just sat in front of the game. But then when you actually see what the doc does with it, and it's old hat now because he's done it so well and so much, that having the arena, getting in the Lambo Diablo, getting into the phone box and taking his call, doing the doc in the mirror kind of stuff, like all that stuff is... He's done stuff that no one else has done it, and he's going to continue to push the envelope with it, which is amazing. He's
got a community that are heavily invested in the Champions Club. They all genuinely think that they've got a black on slate black blazer ready for them in the locker room. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're asking him if he's had a bad game to go and warm up in the exercise room, and next thing you know, he's there doing some stretches in front of some exercise bikes and a treadmill. Do you know what I mean? It's just funny, small things like that.
Hearing you say that as well, because listening to the kind of funny thing, and they clearly don't like him, but they were saying, they were kind of like, yeah, but are his community ride or die enough? Are they gonna be there to watch? Like, if he's on Twitch and they're watching him play games, fine, but are they ride or die for him to the point where they'll go and watch his TV show? I'm thinking, well, you've clearly not sat there.
They've not watched any of it. You know what I mean?
Doc comes out and he gets done by Stream Sniper. Here's $500, Doc. Bam! It's like, yeah, they're gonna watch it.
Oh, but yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, I say it's an interesting one from people who actually watch his content. Fucking dead right, I'm excited for this. It's going to be great. I mean, even if it's DVD only, you're damn right I'm pre-ordering that shit.
I can see it being... I mean, if you look at Doc, Twitch superstar, paid by Amazon Prime Video, just paid mega money for... I said just. I mean, they paid mega money for the Grand Tour, and then they've just shelled out a shed load on the Amazon... not Amazon, the Amazon. What's it called? Lord of the Rings series. So they're looking to, like, change things up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're already in there having conversations, whether they get it or not. Yeah. But I think having it on an online broadcast platform will suit them better than not.
But most TVs now have smart functions anyway, don't they? So you can just press... I think we've got a remote in there that has Amazon and Netflix on either side of the remotes for you to just be able to load straight into it, so that's never going to be in it. It's not... You have to go and get... Remember back in the day, when you used to have like an aerial plugged into the back of the TV, and then you had to go and buy a Freeview box to be able to watch digital TV? Gone are the days, my friend. Gone are the days. We're living in 2019 now.
No, I remember living in 2018 when I used to be able to watch Twitch on my TV with the Twitch app, but then it was removed and now I can't watch it. There's still nothing there.
Is it animated? Isn't it animated? You see, I've got a funny... I think they could probably do more with it being animated, but I want to see the 6'8", 37-inch vertical leaf in real life. I want to see the full thing. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how it even plans out. I mean, they said that they're still in discussion, so we're probably 2 years away from even seeing a pilot episode.
I mean, there is nothing locked in terms of... So they've got licenses and contracts in place. They're going to look to develop something, but they don't have a home for it. They don't have anyone... signed up, so it's not going to be on TV, it's not going to be on Amazon, it's not going to be on Netflix, it's not going to be anything yet. It could be on all of them or one of them or whatever, so there's still a long way from getting it. And even having those discussions and having contracts in place to deliver something, that can change over time. So it could go from being IRL stuff to animated stuff, or it could be a bit of both. It could be sketch, you never know. So, but either way, wouldn't it affect his stream schedule, filming for months on end? Well, one thing he did kind of mention in there as well is that Amazon are being quite flexible and good with it. Not Amazon, Twitch are being quite flexible and good and supportive with it. But yeah, I mean, it depends. We don't know. He could do it on weekends if he only streams Monday to Friday. He's got Saturdays and Sundays, and yeah.
I imagine it's going to take maybe 1 or 2 months off of Twitch. If not, it'll be patchy, so he'll do Monday and Tuesday and then be away for the rest of the week or whatever. But I mean, he is more than likely getting paid by Amazon/Twitch to stream throughout the week anyway. So if it benefits them, for him to go make something for them that's going to potentially make them money, because they only get a certain slice, is it, when you become as big as him, they get 30% rather than 50% that they get.
Yeah, well, it's probably even less. So depending on the size of your channel, you can negotiate different cuts. But when you're in the upper echelon, like the Doc or Ninja or whoever, you will get a bespoke. This is your contract, not a Twitch contract for everyone. This is our contract. You are commanding viewers. They probably get like a minuscule piece of his cut. They still get a lot from it, but in terms of what it is. But then there'll be other things in terms of, I bet, wouldn't be surprised if this contract's where they are actively funding him and saying, okay, you're getting this, and this from your subs, and you've got a stupidly high percentage compared to everyone else, which is fine, you've earned it, you've got the numbers, but we'll also give you this because we want to use your face within marketing materials and whatever.
They have to now anyway, purely for the sake of people like YouTube and Mixer going out actively trying to get 50 million for Ninja. Is the Doc worth that? Is it worth slightly less? Because at the end of the day, even if it's 30 million, it's 30 million still in his skyrocket. But they're going to have to keep on paying. Amazon or Twitch, whichever one want to be the face of it, have to pay the Doc to stay there.
And I think that's where the silent battle goes on, because everyone's going, oh, another one's left Twitch, and it's like, well, they're all going to leave Twitch. Because who can leave Mixer to come to Twitch? Who have Mixer got that they've not poached from Twitch? Who is the big streamer on Mixer? I mean, forget Shroud, forget Ninja, forget Ewok or whatever it was. Take those ones away. Who was Twitch's, not Twitch's, but who was Mixer's big one? Who was the big one on Mixer? No idea. So Twitch can't go out and have that same effect. It's like, there's another one gone from Twitch, because Twitch is the only pot that people can take from. You can only take from an existing winning pot. I mean, the only thing that I think Twitch can do, and this is where the silent battle is to go to the Doc. Okay, we're going to give you an extra 10 million a year or whatever to stay with us and keep doing what you're doing and keep your audience and whatever. And if the Doc likes where he is, he likes the opportunities that he's got and is feeling valued, and they've given him an extra bit as well. I mean, even if they come and go, okay, we'll give you 20 million on top of that, you might go, 10 million's enough, and I'm here and now the figurehead of the platform. But you don't see that. You just see that, oh no, I've moved, because Mixer are going to go, yeah, we've got Shroud, but Twitch aren't going to go, yeah, we've paid more money for a guy who's here, because then you start a cascading argument then of, okay, well, I'm on Twitch, where's my extra money? And that's the crappy thing is, yes, you could make Courage stream exclusively on Twitch, but Courage was on Twitch already, so where do you stop then? If you give Courage some money, do you then start giving Nadeshot some money? And so it's difficult in terms of that sense, but I reckon people like the Doc. By even within that, within that article, they mentioned something like Twitch, his primary platform, has been extremely flexible, he says, with providing openings for him to work on his new project with Skybound, which shows that we are Twitch partners, but we have no minimum requirements. Twitch don't say, well, you need to stream 5 days a week and do the scoop and make it the best fucking podcast the world has ever seen. Bring that raw bravado and absolute chat shit that people want to listen to, which we do, by the way, every day at 10 a.m. Monday to Friday. But we don't have any minimum requirements, whereas that suggests that they're being extremely flexible. It's like, okay, you're providing the service for them, so clearly that means that, okay, we're going to give you this, but you need to do this many streams or whatever. For them to say, okay, well, take a week off, take a weekend off, don't do this, don't do that, or the fact that they're working with him suggests that, yeah, he has a meaty contract, which you'd expect for the 2-time back-to-back 993 994 plus video game champion. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough waffle for your Monday scoop. It's probably one of our longest ones yet. We are around 1 hour and 38 minutes we've been live, so there we go. We're going to call it quits because I have a meeting in 15 minutes as well. Anyway. So thank you very much for joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. Jump back to the front cam. As mentioned, as we open the show, my name is Graham Day, at Graham_Day on Twitter, and this is at We've Got Bibinio. Feel free to send him abusive messages about the City scores, but also loving birthday messages because it is his birthday today. So, you know, a bit of both, If you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, if you're sat here in the chat thinking, do you know, actually, I mean, both Northern can't really tell what they're saying, but it seems like they're having a good time, then make sure you hit the follow button because you will get notified every time we go live. 10 a.m.-ish, Monday to Friday, we bring you the scoop here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. As I've mentioned through the show, if you've missed any of this, if you joined us late, you can watch it all back in our past broadcasts on Twitch, but we will also upload it as a standalone on-demand podcast, a vidcast for you guys on YouTube, and we will put it out on 4 audio services later on today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Ice Cream Uploads because you get all of the links there. Ice Cream Uploads across the board, across all social media. If you would like to follow us, you want to find out a little bit more, then make sure you go check it out. Anything you would like to add before we sign off for today, babe?
Yes, as always, if you do see anything knocking around the Twitter sphere or any kind of articles that you want to hear our opinions on, because believe me, we've got a lot of them, then feel free to tag us on the URLs that you've seen at the bottom of the screen or search for Ice Cream Uploads and you'll be able to let us know and we'll give you our opinions the very next day.
Yeah. One thing before we do go, Kangaroo Little Dog says, happy birthday, Chief.
Yes, Alpy lad. What a guy.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Have yourselves a lovely day. We will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow for the second scoop of the week from myself and the birthday boy. Stay frosty.